Alright, so today we finish up the TT Combat Undead Halfling Army by reviewing some changes I made to the Ghoul King and talking about the Halfling Vampire. So stay tuned and we'll take a look at these models. Alright, as you might have remembered from the Ghoul King video a little bit back, I kind of talked through the logic of reaching, that I came up with for the particular stat line. The one thing that kind of dawned on me is I didn't notice it before was the initiative value was wrong. So I do have a slightly different initiative value this time, and the only significant change I made to the Ghoul King entry is to increase its initiative up to 8. So it is now, there's a reason to have him help your guys out with the ambush order. So it's nothing different as far as unit goes, but it does have slightly different stats. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at the vampire. Alright, so this little guy, he gave me some pause in how to create the rules for it, but I had this vision in my head of how he would kind of look on the battlefield. There's actually a lot of different ways. Everything from almost a Revenge of the Nerds kind of look to a nice gothic vampire with his heavily armored bodyguards. So I've got there's a few options in this character that are not normal for a lot of the other armies. It gives you a wider range for his entourage, right? And I think that's where you can add a lot of flavor to your specific halfling vampire model. So let's go take a look at the stats now. Okay, so I basically just started him off as a regular halfling. Now he is undead, so things do have to be a little different for him. And I went back to kind of some of the lore of the vampires. There's a lot of different angles people take on vampires. So this is mine for what I envision vampires are like. Being a regular hobbit or halfling, his agility and accuracy pretty much stay at that level. But vampires in the lore are stronger than humans, so I did make him strength 5. Now, vampires are also tougher to kill, and there's a lot of different ways that's manifest in the different lores and legends and myths. So I went ahead and made him res 8. So that is a big departure from the rest of the halfling army, because he has no armor, but he's res 8. Now his initiative is 8, just like most the champions. The Ghoul King is since he stands in as a champion, I rose him to an 8. The halfling Wraith Knight is already an 8, so it kind of made sense to give this little guy initiative 8. They are survivors, and they're more likely to get the jump on you. So that's why I kind of figured 8 works. Now I gave him the highest command short of the halfling Wraith, and he's actually command 9. He is going to flee because he knows there are things that can actually kill him dead. And so I wanted to make sure that it was kind of reflected. Normally undead leaders have a 10, but I kind of figured now it's going to back him down one because he does recognize his vulnerability, if not mortality. Now the keys to his abilities, though, he is a magic level 1. He does have 2 hand-to-hand attacks. Now these are literally just little fists. So he doesn't come with a weapon. That's mostly because the model itself has no weapon modeled on him. Now I decided to give him a variety of thralls as attendants and a possibility of getting cursed spirits like most any magic user has the ability to obtain. So the thralls that he can have are either human or halfling, both of which will start based with just daggers. That gives you a lot of possibilities Look at it from the Revenge of the Nerds angle. You're having, 4 bar winches with daggers could be one look, but then you can, using the upgrades below, you could give human thralls or even halfling thralls swords or stronger armor to give them some staying power. That way he could have some attendants that would help him survive. Now since he's res 8, I kind of limited the armor for the possible thralls to light armor. So that'll get their armor up to, well, it'll be 6 for the human thralls and 5 for the halfling thralls, but at least it gets them a little bit more defense. Now the halfling thralls can be given rocks to throw, which makes perfect sense. Other than that, he's pretty much just a regular kind of warlord type. So you can give him tough 2 or tough 3, and a wound 2 or wound 3. Now the tough 3, that one's not normal for some warlords because, vampires are hard to put down. So that gives him a lot of staying power. The extra toughness and having 3 wounds, that's going to keep him from leaving the battlefield too soon. Now, some people think that, well, the vampires are so hard to kill, so they some have gone the route of monstrous creature on them and all that. And it really, I look at him losing his last wound, not necessarily meaning he's dead, but he's been defeated. And one of the things vampires in lore would do is either, as they're about to lose, or about to be ultimately threatened, they'll transform into, some have fog shape-shifting abilities, some have, turn into a swarm of bats or a bat and fly away. So that's really what I see taking his last wound away is. He basically flies away and he won't be seen until he recuperates, spends some time in his coffin. Aside from that, he's just a regular, almost like a necromancer, because he'll have the ability to take up to 4 cursed spirits and up to 4 either human thralls or halfling thralls. So you can mix and match, again, to give him the backstory and look you want. So that's the way the halfling vampire plays out. I don't know if you'll get to see this in an upcoming episode of The Adventures of Niggelroot, but we'll see. You will probably get to see this played now that we actually have stats for it. I'm pretty sure Dave may want to play around with this unit. Alright, so that kind of puts a cap on the TT Combat Undead Halflings. So if you happen to get yourself any of these models and you want to go ahead and build your own Undead Halfling army, links below in the description to the army list, and I'm going to send the information to Rick as well, see if he'll post it up and make this a fan army list like he's done with some others. And go to town making your own Undead army list. Alright, thanks. I hope this has been a kind of an enlightening series of videos on how you can take the armies that you have and create an army that's usable in Warlords of Erehwon. Alright, thanks for sticking with us. Share, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.